This video is working through unit conversions from your PowerPoint, slide 26 through to 35. Now I know all of the answers and the working is there, but I thought I'd make a video to show you how to use your rule sheet, or how your rule sheet can get you these answers. Like I said last year, when the Year 8s did all of this mathematics, they didn't have access to the rule sheet that you have access to. So I just wanted to make it really clear how these answers can come from you looking at the rule sheet as well. So if you go back here to the slide before, slide 25, I really think knowing some of your basics will help make these unit conversions more efficient and you be more confident with them. So it says a centimetre equals 10 millimetres, a metre equals 100 centimetres, a metre equals 1,000 millimetres, and a kilometre equals 1,000 metres. But these basics are also on your rule sheet on the back, on the top where it says length unit conversions. It really is all there for you. If you had to turn just, for example, on a 1 metre ruler in our classroom that I use on the whiteboard, you'd be thinking about converting centimetres to metres. And I've been speaking in class about the magic number, which is 100. So these basic units here, or basic conversion units, are on your rule sheet, which can really help you understand these area ones where it's square units, and the volume conversions where it's cubic meters. Alright, going back to the first question, for example, this is the way I would think through it. I would think through and go 1 metre squared equals how many centimetres? So in class I've been saying this process. In class I will say, if you are converting from metres to centimetres, what is your magic number? It doesn't matter which way you're going, but if you're thinking about metres to centimetres, or these two units, if you go to your rule sheet, if you go metres to centimetres, like I just said, whether you're going metres to centimetres or centimetres to metres, your magic number is 100. Right. In this question we're going metres to centimetres, metres to centimetres, therefore we're going to multiply by the 100. Okay, so 100 is the first thing to ask, what is my magic number? And then the second thing to ask yourself is if I'm multiplying or dividing. So the question was going metres to centimetres, therefore I'm looking at this option rather than this option. But what we've learnt in class, or what we need to understand, is that it's not just metres to centimetres, okay, it's squared metres to centimetres. That's why I do my thinking step of, okay, 100 is my magic number, but we actually have to, on a calculator, multiply it by 100 twice. Okay, so if you take a calculator and it says 1 metre, so 1 times 100 would just be if it was plain length units, but we need to multiply it by 100 again because it's squared units. Okay, that's how we're getting our answer of 10,000 there. Alright, if we're going metres to millimetres, okay, there's a couple of ways you could do this. I might pretend that you haven't been able to learn the magic numbers. Okay, so the way you could do this one is convert it to centimetres first. So we already know that 1 metre squared, we already know that from our last question, that actually equals 10,000 centimetres squared. then you could change your 10,000 centimeters squared into millimeters squared by saying, okay, what's my number, my magic number between centimeters and millimeters? So hopefully we all know that between centimeters and millimeters, our magic number is 10, and we would multiply by 10. But it's all on your rule sheet if you know how to use it. Okay, so if we need to multiply it by 10, then we need to do it by 10, but then by 10 again, because we're talking about squared units. That's why we do the magic number twice, and the multiply in this case, or the division, twice. So I've already got on my calculator 10,000 from before, so I'm going to multiply it by 10 and then by 10 again, and that's how I get my 1 million millimeters squared. Okay, so if you did remember these over here, then you could have done it that way, but that's just stepping through meters to centimeters squared and then using our centimeters squared to get it to the millimeters. Alright, this one is going from kilometers to meters squared. So the first thing you need to do, look on your rule sheet and identify that kilometers to meters, the magic number is 1,000. And yep, kilometers to meters, so I'm multiplying by 1,000. Kilometers to meters is my question, so I need to multiply by 1,000. Alright, so that's why I go, well, 1,000 is my magic number, and I need to multiply 1,000 once and twice. Okay, so you have 1 kilometer squared equals something meters squared. Okay, so you identify that you need to multiply by 1,000, but you actually need to do that twice because it's squared units that we're working with. And on your calculator you would get 1 million. Let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so I'm starting with 1 kilometer squared. I've got to multiply by 1,000, and I've got to multiply by 1,000 again, so I get 1 million. Alright, so this one is centimeters to millimeters. Centimeters to millimeters. So on your rule sheet, if you look at centimeters to millimeters, magic number's 10, and I have to times it. So centimeters to millimeters, the magic number's 10, and I have to times it by 10, not once but twice. Alright, so 1 times 10 equals 10 times 10 again, gives me 100 millimeters squared. Now you probably noticed I haven't used this too much. To be honest, I know that on the test and in grade 8 we don't need to worry about hectares. So it's mainly if you are working with the area unit conversion flowchart rather than the length, it's probably just this top one you need to know. I just use the basic one, the length, and I use it to find my magic number, and then if it's squared units I have to do it twice, or if I'm going this way I have to divide twice. Soon I'll do some volume ones that I know I have to do it 3 times because volume are our cubic measurements, so we do it 3 times. But I just use this one to get my magic number, and then now I have to do it either twice or 3 times depending if it's square units or cubic meters. Okay, so this part of the PowerPoint here is really just a summary of this flowchart. Okay, so like I said, the year 8s last year had to just learn all of this and all of this because they didn't have access to a rule sheet. Remember, a rule sheet doesn't guarantee you success. Make sure you know how to use your rule sheet to your advantage. So now we're moving away from just 1 meter or 1 centimeter, and we're just looking at bigger numbers now. So if you go 4 meters to centimeters. Okay, so again, if you go meters to centimeters, I just use this one, meters 2 centimeters, I'm multiplying by 100, so I'd have to do that twice. Meters to centimeters, 100 is my magic number, and I would have to multiply it on my calculator twice by 100. So 4 times 100 equals times 100 equals 40,000. Alright, this is my, okay, meters to millimeters. So I might do this one time, this again going to centimeters first. So if you have 8 meters squared, and first of all we put it to centimeters squared, meters to centimeters, I would multiply by 100, but do it twice because we're doing squared units. So 8 times 100 times 100. Okay, I get 80,000. Now I'll use the 80,000. So this is step 1. I now use my 80,000 centimeters squared to change it to millimeters squared. So centimeters to millimeters now. Go to your rule sheet. Centimeters to millimeters is timesing by 10. So I'm going to times it by 10, not once, but twice. So I have 80,000 sitting on there, times 10 equals times 10 equals 8 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's my 8 million down there. Okay. All of these are pretty similar. It'd be nice to go back the other way with one. I might skip this slide because this is continuing to do your multiplying. Kilometers to meters we multiply, centimeters to millimeters we multiply. Your answers and your working are there. Let's go down to this slide 31, where we are going now centimeters to meters. So if you look on your rule sheet and you go this time centimeters to meters, the number's 100 still, but centimeters to meters is dividing by 100. Okay, so this time here you've realized that your magic number is 100, but you divide it by 100 not once but twice because we're working in squared units. So if you go 2 divided by 100, it equals that, divided by 100 again. Okay, 0.0002 is there. This one is going millimeters to centimeters. Alright, so if you go here, millimeters to centimeters, the magic number is 10, and to divide it by 10. Alright, so magic number is 10, divided by 10 twice. So 2.5 is our starting point. 2.5 divided by, 10. 2.5 divided by 10 equals, divided by 10 again equals that. Alright, good. Now we're going to see some cubic conversions. So cubic is things like centimeters cubed and meters cubed, and that's when we are talking about our 3D shapes. In year 8 it is our rectangular prisms or our cylinders when we have found the volume of those, whereas our 2D shapes are just things like a square or a circle or a 2D rectangle. So these are your 2D shapes where it's squared. These are your 3D shapes where the measurements are cubed. Okay, this might be meters squared, millimeters squared, centimeters squared. They're your 2D flat plane shapes, and your 3D shapes have your cubic measurements because they're 3-dimensional. The process is exactly the same, except you have to do the magic thing 3 times, not twice. Okay, so 2 centimeters cubed going to meters cubed, centimeters to meters. So I would go to my rule sheet. Again, if you want to have a look at this flowchart, it's the same thing. I just use the basic one and say, alright, we were going centimetres to metres, so I have to divide by 100. Centimetres to metres, I have to divide by 100. It says the same thing down here, it's just got the 3 on the top. I just find it more useful to find the magic number. So the magic number is 100, and I'm going to divide it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So 2 was our starting point. Divide it by 100. Yep, equals, divided by 100 a second time, but divided by 100 again a third time, because we're talking cubic meters. Cubic conversions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Got the same answer. Alright, so millimeters to centimeters. Go to your rule sheet. Millimeters to centimeters is times by 10. So 10 is your number. Millimeters to centimeters, sorry. Millimeters to centimeters is this way. Beg your pardon, divide by 10 3 times. Alright. 2.5 divided by 10 equals, divided by 10 equals, divided by 10 a third time because it's cubic units, 0.0025. Okay, alright. Last couple, I'll just do number 33 because slide 34, 35 are full revision questions that I'll do separately. Meters to centimeters, my magic number. Ooh, okay, there's a little mistake there, a typo, but you can see I've actually multiplied it by 100 3 times, but let's just double check. It should be a magic number of 100 there, not 1,000. So if I get closer it gets blurry, as you can see. Alright. So we'll just check that we start with 6. And I'm going to be meters to centimeters. You'll be multiplying by 100. Okay, just to show you, meters to centimeters, multiply 100. So multiply by 100 once, twice, 3 times. For cubic conversions is 6 million. Alright, so we go 3.5 centimeters to millimeters. Alright, centimeters to millimeters is times by 10. And we do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 3.5 times 10 equals times 10 equals times 10. 3 times equals 3,500. Okay, I'll do these in another video. Bye.